As the U.S. ramps up its economic response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, U.S. authorities preparing for potential Russian cyber attacks here and elsewhere. Eamon Javers joins us now with more. Eamon, how concerned should we be?
Well, good morning, Andrew. We should be pretty concerned here, but the intelligence is not exactly clear. Now, the FBI told me late yesterday that what they're really focusing on is the Russian threat to the U.S. energy sector. And in Detroit yesterday, FBI Director Chris Wray said the Bureau has agents positioned so they can be anywhere in the country within about an hour to check if any abnormal cyber activity matches up with what they know about these Russian threats. Now, he revealed that the White House, their warning yesterday is based on specific investigative and surveillance work that the U.S. government has done as they watch Russians scanning systems, researching victims, and developing access to systems here in the United States.
There's a whole range of preparatory work, which is what we've been seeing. And so we have been engaged with certain companies and industries specifically to try to help them button things down to make it harder for those attacks to go all the way to the next level.
But, guys, the White House is also careful to say here that it's not predicting an attack and it doesn't have specific intelligence of one in motion. What they're concerned about are these preparatory steps that put the Russians in a position to strike if Vladimir Putin decides to make that decision and order it. Back over to you.
Okay. Eamon Javers, thanks. In terms of industry, is there any hints, though, of what we should be worried about or thinking about?
Well, what they're talking about is the energy sector, and coming off the back of your guys' conversation earlier about the oil markets and electricity and everything else, you know, energy is the one vector that the Russians have into the U.S. economy that they've been able to use so far in this conflict. If they really put the hammer down on the U.S. energy sector, you could imagine a huge impact in the U.S. economy. I mean, people I talked to yesterday were talking about the idea of, you know, Colonial Pipeline times 10. And we saw that ransomware attack last year, you know, really closed down gas supplies up and down the east coast of the United States. If you did something like that with a deliberate intent of fouling up the U.S. gasoline supplies, you could really have a dramatic impact on the U.S. economy. And the idea is psychologically you might be able to impact the American public's willingness to support the Biden administration's support for the Ukraine here. We'll see if any of that comes to fruition, but that seems to be the type of thing that the administration is warning about here. And the warning itself is interesting, Andrew, because the warning seems to be all about getting inside the heads of the Russians, saying, hey, we know what you're up to. You don't have the element of surprise here. Knock it off. And that calling out is something that we've seen from U.S. intelligence throughout the course of this whole Ukraine conflict. It's a new strategy and seems to be pretty effective, at least so far.